Is the real estate market crash here in Portland, Oregon? How are rates affecting things? What's 2023 going to look like? I'm going to cover all of that and more. All that starts now. Hey everyone, Seth Marchant with the Home Team Brokers here. Welcome back to the channel, or if you're new to this channel, living in Oregon, and you'd like to know more about what it's like to live here, including what the real estate market is like, make sure and hit the subscribe button and tap the bell. That way you'll be notified every time we drop a new video, which is every week. And if you're somebody that's thinking about moving here as real estate brokers, as much as we like making these videos, we'd love to help you move here. So you can call us, text us, email us, or even click the link below in the description if you want to get into our calendar and schedule a Zoom call with us. All right, let's get into it. We're going to start with looking at numbers, the most recent numbers for the Portland metropolitan area. You can see the top line here. October is the last month that we have data for. Median sale price $537, average sale price $592. If you compare that to October of 2021, the year before, $592 average sales price compared to $575, median sale price $537 compared to $516. So we still have year-over-year growth, 2.9% for the average sale price and 4.1% for the median sale price. And that's probably, once we get through, there's about a month left in this year, that's probably about what we're going to see by the end of this year. So year over year, we won't see home values to have gone down in the Portland metropolitan area for 2022. This is national data going back to 2016. And you can see each year, starting in January, home prices go up, 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 and then they sort of peak around July to August, and then work their way back down again. You can see median home price, which is that dark red line, right now is $420,000. At the beginning of the year, it was just under $400,000. It probably will get pretty close back to $400,000 by the end of this year. This is data from Redfin. So they've got median sale price for the year $397. So month over month, it's gone down 1.4% from last month, but year over year change, it's gone up 4.9%. So that's probably what we're going to see for 2022 when things are all said and done. Home values for the entire country will have gone up about 4% or so, something just above 4%. Another interesting data point, fourth line from the bottom there, average sale to final list price ratio. We get this question pretty often. People ask us, what do homes typically sell for in relation to their list price? And as you can see, 98.9% for October 2022. So about 1% less than the list price. Now, anecdotally, as realtors, what we've seen for some of our buyer clients, a little bit more than that, especially if something's sat on the market for, usually the magic number is somewhere around 3 weeks or so. You could expect more like a 3, 4, 5% discount if the home is listed probably around where it's valued at. In some cases, we have seen homes that are listed higher than what they're valued at. That's because we've been in such a red hot seller's market and sellers have been able to list their homes sort of high. That's not going to persist, of course, when the market is switching to a buyer's market. But if you do find a home that's listed right around where it's valued at, you can expect at least to get 1% off in this market right now, but really probably more like 2, 3, 4, 5%. And in some cases, maybe a little bit more depending on the total value of the home. In other words, if it's at a higher price point, like above 7 figures, which those homes you do tend to see a little bit more variation in the pricing relative to what the home's actually worth. Here's total inventory for the country. As it stands right now, 568,000 homes on the market. You can kind of see a little uptick in October of 2022. Inventory went up just a little bit and now it's coming back down again. And of course, if you look back to a year ago in 2021 when the market was really at its hottest, that's when inventory was also at its lowest. So we've hit the peak of inventory for the year. It'll tick back down, down, down until January, in which it'll go up, in which it'll begin to increase again for the spring seller's market. Here's what's having the greatest impact on the buyers. Interest rates have almost doubled compared to a year ago. And if you haven't ever used a mortgage calculator before, That's going to make a difference in hundreds of dollars, could even be thousands of dollars, but depending on how much you're financing, how much you put down, the length of your loan. In this case, we're looking at 30-year, which is more common. You can do 15 or 20-year, but in general, when people compare these rates from a year ago, that's about what you're looking at. 2, 3, 4, $500, $600 a month difference in your mortgage payment. And here's how many active residential listings are currently on the market in the Portland metro area. The red dot is 2022. You can see last month, October, there was 4,753 listings on the market. You compare that to previous years. Again, 2021 inventory extremely low back then, 2,900 homes. Year before that, 2020, 3,400 homes. So we can see inventory is a lot higher than it used to be. And with inventory being higher and competition being lower, for the right person, it can be a really good time to buy. Okay, so why is inventory higher? It's not actually because there's more new listings on the market. You see the red line there? New listings are actually down, and they're down quite a bit. This is the reason why we have so much more inventory. Homes are just sitting on the market longer. You can see the red line there again for 2022. 2022 and 2021, you can see around May, June, July, actually got below 20 days on market. A more balanced market is actually going to be closer to maybe 50 or 60 days, whereas like you see here, we've seen closer to 20 days during the peak season. So homes are simply sitting on the market and accumulating. This is the reason why we have more inventory. Why is this? Well, big reason is because coming off of 2021 and this red hot sellers market, sellers are really trying to get as much and squeeze as much out of their home as they possibly can. And consequently, some sellers have maybe listed their homes a little bit too high, or maybe just haven't adjusted and maybe haven't done a price drop when they probably should have. So you probably have some homes sitting on the market that are priced a little bit too high, which is causing the average time on market to be a little bit higher. So it's probably not just interest rates. It's probably sellers being a little bit stubborn, trying to get some of those numbers that they expected maybe when they initially planned to sell their home, like earlier in 2022. So here's what the price reductions look like right now. They've sort of plateaued for the year. The dark red line is 2022 and plateaued around 43%. The light red line is 2021. If you go back and look at March, April, May, you can kind of see that deviation from 2021 to 2022. You didn't really see the price cuts in May, June, July, August in 2021 like you did in 2022. That's because, again, the market was so hot, it just wasn't necessary for sellers to do those price reductions. And for all you people that are shopping online, shopping on Zillow, Redfin, Trulia, Realtor.com, up until 3 or 4 months ago, you really probably weren't used to seeing price reductions. Now, I know if you look here on 2021 and 2022, March, April, May, June, you're looking at about 15% of the market, about 1 in 7 homes getting price reductions. Anecdotally, just shopping on Zillow, it didn't really feel like that. It didn't feel like 1 out of 7 homes were getting a price reduction in 2021. It felt like almost no homes were. And it's probably just because, and that's what people say to us. They sort of express that they weren't used to seeing price reductions. And it's probably just because the homes that they were looking at weren't getting any type of price reductions. There were still some homes on the market getting price reductions. So plateauing around 43%. We'll know a lot more here in the next few months in January of 2023. But a lot of these homes that are maybe priced too high, that need price reductions, are going to get cleaned up by the end of the year in 2022. And the ones that don't, you're going to start to see some homes get withdrawn as well too. If you've been shopping on Zillow or Realtor.com or something like that, and you see a home that was on the market and it didn't go pending, it just means that it was probably withdrawn. The seller's probably taking it off the market, planning to put it back on the market in the springtime when they can expect more activity. Now, nationally for 2022, you do have a few major metropolitan areas that actually saw negative growth, San Francisco being one of them, San Jose, Stockton, so you can see a trend there. Most of these places are in California, and the places that did the best, a lot of those places are in Florida, Miami, Tampa, Cape Coral. More than 2/3 of homes for sale in Boise had a price drop. Now, Boise was really the hottest market in 2021 in the entire country. So they saw the most home value growth in 2021. And consequently, I guess they say the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Boise is now seeing greatest drop in home value. Now, right now, more than anything, people just really kind of want to know what's going to happen in 2023. People have been saying there's going to be a real estate crash for a long time now. Right now, what we're seeing is more of a correction than a crash. Again, home values for the year, both nationally and in the Portland metropolitan area, are still up. So let's take a look at the past 30 years or so for the country. And that'll give us an idea if we can kind of realistically expect to see a crash in 2023. And I have a few points here highlighted on this graph. First one is Q1 of 2007. You can see that was the beginning of home values sort of consistently going down. You see a few upticks, but overall consistently going down until about Q4 of 2011, Q1 of 2012. So why did this happen? If you're not familiar with it, there was a book and a movie made on it. It's called The Big Short. And what happened was a lot of banks gave loans to people that could not afford those loans. They didn't have all the underwriting back then, or at least they didn't do all the underwriting back then that they do now. And they were giving people loans, in some cases multiple loans, that people weren't going to be able to pay back, specifically loans that had variable rates. So your first year might be 3%, your next year might be like 6%. And as we kind of talked about, that can make a big difference in your mortgage payments. So what happened was people took out loans for homes they couldn't afford. They were fine for a little while, but once that rate went up, they could no longer afford their home. They put their home on the market. All of a sudden, everybody's doing the same thing, putting their homes on the market. The market's flooded with homes. People can't sell their homes fast enough. They foreclose on their homes, and boom, you've got a crash. So that was more so about banks allowing people to take out loans that could not afford those loans. And it took, again, going back to 2007, took about 5 years or so to kind of get back on track. And it wasn't until about 2013 or so that home values got back to where they were in 2007. So the only time we've really seen home values go down consistently year over year was in the 07-08 crash. And in a way, it wasn't directly related to the real estate market. It was the lending side of things. So here's going back to 1960. You can see it's a slow trend upward and a little bit of stagnation if you see like in the early 90s. Not a whole lot of growth there. Might have had some places that might have had like a point of negative growth. But all in all, you're seeing about maybe 3, 4, 5% of growth on homes year over year. And of course, when things got really hot, then you were seeing 20%. Homes were going up 20% year over year. But it was only in 07 or 08 where homes actually went down over the course of a year. And how that's relevant is this is going to show you that it's highly unlikely that January, Q1 of 2023, we're going to see that downtick like you see in 07 or 08. Had a fair amount of people, buyers that we're talking to lately. There's a lot of people that are kind of just sitting on the sidelines, just kind of waiting for that crash, waiting for homes to go down, which is understandable. Everybody wants to get a good deal. But if we look at the numbers historically, unless something major happens, like we saw in 07, 08, again, the Big Short, it's highly unlikely that home values are going to go down. I would guess it's probably going to look something more like the early to the mid 90s, and that we're going to have some kind of stagnant to very small growth where homes only go up a couple of percent, 2, 3% each year. And the only reason I could think that maybe that we could possibly foresee that home values might not do well in 2023. I think we're in a recession right now. I guess it depends on your definition of recession. Apparently it's changed a little bit recently, but we're starting to see some good numbers come out. Inflation's starting to go down. Supply chain issues, constraints are getting fixed, but there is a talk of a double dip recession. In other words, things are going to get better for a little bit and then they're going to get bad again. So, and they might even get worse actually the second time around. So that is a reason that I could possibly foresee that maybe we don't see positive growth in 2023. But again, historically, chances are home values, say 6 months from now in like Q2, Q3 of 2023, are going to be a little bit higher than they are right now. So if you're thinking about buying, for most people, buying in the wintertime is not ideal. Most people like to be out shopping in the summertime, especially in Oregon when the weather's nice. But now might be your best time to get a good deal. Again, inventory, that's usually one of the downsides of shopping in the wintertime is inventory is not good in the wintertime, so you have less to choose from. Upside being there's less competition because there's less people out there shopping. But as far as home prices go, right now might be your best chance to get the absolute best price that you can for a home. Now, if you're not shopping right now, it's probably not a big deal. Like I said, I don't think it will change a whole lot. I don't think prices will be a whole lot different in Q2 of 2023 than they are in Q4 of 2022. But I do think they probably will be a little bit higher. All right, I hope that information helps you. And if it does, give us a like. Leave a comment if you have a question. And if you're somebody that's thinking about taking the next steps and moving and buying a home, you can call, text, or email us, or like I've mentioned, click the link below in the description to schedule a Zoom with us. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure and hit the subscribe button and tap the bell. That way you'll be notified every week when we drop a new video. Take care, everyone.